Hi, this is Quanisha Green, your Black woman CEO coach and the founder of the Black Women Rise movement. Wanted to come to you with this quick power and profit business tip. So you may have seen out here in the interwebs that video marketing, live streaming is the shiznit, right? Right? Everyone's doing it. Facebook prioritizes Facebook Live videos, all these various things. And as a new entrepreneur or emerging entrepreneur, you may be saying, I am afraid to death to get on this video. And that is exactly what just happened during a coaching call with one of my mastermind coaching clients. So she was asking, like, Quanisha, how do I do this video thing? I'm fine when I am on my personal Facebook page, going live, sharing my life. But as soon as I get to the business page, it's like, what's happening? I don't know what to do. So I wanted to come to you and share some of these quick tips that I just shared with my client. So one, think about who your soulmate client is, right? And don't just make this an arbitrary thing. Name them. Actually think of a person that represents that soulmate client to you, right? What was their name? So I gave her the example, and it's Sheena, if you're watching later, hey Sheena. So when I started the Black Women Rise movement, it was focused around Black women in leadership. One of my first coaching clients, my paid coaching clients, was my best friend. She was the executive director of a statewide nonprofit advocacy organization, and she became my first coaching client, and her name was Sheena. And I can share her name because she has a testimonial on the website and all that other stuff. So when I started doing videos or even any type of marketing, email marketing, content marketing, I always made believe I was talking just to Sheena, right? Nobody else existed but Sheena. So when you're doing videos and when you're writing content, you want it to be personal. So the same way that you would give this soulmate client, in my case, Sheena, advice as if we were sitting in Starbucks, that's how you can actually become pretty prolific in your content, because you're just talking to them as if you were talking to them over coffee, giving them some advice on whatever topic is on the table, right? So my particular client works with at-risk youth, and I asked her, and this is another key, is that she works with at-risk youth, and I said, who's your primary customer? She said, the kids. I said, no, you have two stakeholders, right? Peter Drucker, why is his name? I think it's Peter Drucker in his book, 5 Important Questions That You Should Ask is who is your client? Many of you, depending on what your field is, may have a primary stakeholder and a secondary stakeholder. Instead of stakeholder, we can use the word client. Your primary client is the person that pays you. Your secondary client may be the person that actually, say, gets the benefits, the ultimate benefits of your services. So if you work with youth, if you're like a parent, a consultant or coach or a youth advocate or youth leader, many times the youth themselves, right? Or if you work with at-risk women, the at-risk women themselves are not paying you for the service. They're going to be your secondary client. Your primary client is, say, the organization that's going to write the check, right? So in her case, I said, imagine you're talking to all these program managers about how to best handle or manage or facilitate, what she does with youth. So I was like, imagine if it's 10 ways to talk to young people in a way that they will listen, right? Say that was her video, and then just make believe you're having this conversation with this program manager, and we named her. We actually got a real person. So, but for this purposes, let's say her name was Susan. I was like, imagine you're talking to Susan over coffee. How would you explain it to her? Right? So that's tip number one for doing, well, you could say live videos or videos in general, and making them conversational, using them for business purposes, is to think about one person that you could help or that has paid you for your services, and imagine you're just talking to them, because that one person represents thousands of other people who have this particular challenge. And I'm just quickly, making sure that video is up, who is having this particular challenge. So that's your way of supporting them. Okay, so, and I gave you the second tip on the stakeholder thing, right? The people who pay you are your primary clients. But sometimes, depending on your business model or who you're serving, you also can have a secondary client, and that's who's really like who you're here to impact and maybe help in some way. So that was one. Think of your soulmate client, think of someone who really represents that, and make believe you're talking to them in all your marketing content. Even on video, like I'm looking at my camera, I'm making believe I'm talking to my soulmate client, right? I have the person in my head. That's who I'm talking to. The second tip I wanted to give you on this topic is do you and be you. The same way that you may show up in your professional life, right? The same way that you may show up on your personal page, you can show up the same way on your business page, right? Yes, you are the leader. You're a representative of your business. People are going to learn about your brand through you, right? So as that CEO, as that leader. So you don't have to put on airs. You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to be all these other things. All you have to do is just be you. Right? So maybe yes, on your Facebook Live video, you're fine doing your video in your bikini while you're on the beach. And maybe you don't want that to be your business image, and that's fine. But the same way you would show up at work, maybe some of the same things you wear, the same way that you would talk, right? Is the same way that you can show up on your business pages when you're doing things like video marketing and content marketing and all those things like that. Okay. So I'm giving you permission to be you. And why is this important other than you being awesome and showing up? So one thing that came up with my client was I was sharing with her some of the tactics because she was like, well, how do you remember everything you need to say? And I said, I have notes. She was like, what do you mean you have notes? I said, like, if I'm doing this on Be Live TV from my desktop, sometimes I'll have a Word document on the side with my major points that I wanted to make, right? I have my notes. Or if I'm doing it live from my phone and I can't pull up my video, I'll actually have like notes on a pad or something, right? Or a notebook. You've probably seen that from different business professionals. They may have their notes there. Or they may say, hold on, let me make sure I'm covering everything. So the same way that you may show up in a business meeting with your notes, right, to make sure you cover the points, or your notes are on the easel or the board behind you, right? These are the 4 points we're covering today, is the same way that you can show up online in your business. There are no rules that says you can't have your notes when you're doing a Facebook Live, or you have to remember all the stuff in your head. And she was like, yeah, sometimes she's like, I wanted to pull up like my PowerPoint because I had all my notes. And I said, well, if you don't have to pull up Word, it can be PowerPoint. I've done that. I might be wanting to make some points. I want to share content that maybe I shared in a webinar or maybe even one of my private courses. So while I'm doing a Facebook Live, I'll pull up Keynote and talk from it, right? Talk some of the same points because my notes are there. You all can't see it. Even if you did, if I did a screen share, I don't care. But it's because that's how I want to run my business. That helps me to show up well. That helps me to deliver the content that's going to help you. So you can do you, be you, whatever's going to help you stand brilliantly, right, in your genius in front of those who you've been uniquely created to serve, your clients, your soulmate clients. Do it. Do it. So you don't have to sit anywhere flustered or wondering like, oh, well, she does it this way. Am I going to do it my way? You can do it your way. Let's see. Hey, June. So June said, this is good. I'm glad. I didn't know people were on it. I couldn't see. Hey, June. I was just talking like as if y'all were there. So if you're catching the recording later. So that's all I wanted to say is do you be you. And particularly when it comes to this showing up and getting known for your business. People don't want the fake you, right? They don't want the imaginary you. They don't want the representative of you. Not a big fan of Steve Harvey all the time, but one thing I did like that he says is like, he says something like in the first 90 days of dating, you're seeing each other representative. Don't do that in your business. Don't be the representative, be you. I am Quanisha everywhere I go. I show up as a Black woman everywhere I go. This is just me. Right? It's part of my identity. It's part of who I am. I have a Bronx accent, so certain words are going to come out weird. I say y'all, right? Sometimes I curse and I'll say like, sorry if that offended anyone, but that's just me, right? Show up as yourself because when you think about, there's a term in business called your unique selling proposition. And many people start to think it's about, let's say, the product or the service that makes you unique. No, it's you that makes you unique. It's your worldview that makes you unique. So particularly those of you who are in coaching and consulting and freelancing and other service-based professionals, people are buying you, not just your service and information. There are 1,000 photographers. There are 1,000 coaches, but you want to make sure that you are you so that people can resonate. Those who do resonate with you in the particular way that maybe you share that topic or that expertise, um, they'll be attracted to that, right? And those who are attracted to that will then want to explore working with you. But if you're just showing your representative all the time, one, that is exhausting. That is totally exhausting to always show up as your representative. But then when you start to like maybe relax and you're like, well, I'm going to be myself in my programs, but I have to show up this way in my marketing, people are going to sense a disconnect and they're going to think it's inauthentic. And then they're going to want their money back, or they're going to say like, it wasn't quite the experience I expected. So you want your marketing to be like a taste test, a sample of what people can kind of experience from you, right, behind the scenes or in the inner circle when they become a paid client of your services, right? So don't do the okey doke or the catfish or whatever it is. Show up as yourself at all times. And the way that you can do that is by then, one, thinking about that one person, how you would talk to a client or potential client the same way you would in an office meeting or at Starbucks, right? And give people your best. Give them your best, but just do you and be you. There are lots of strategies. There's lots of roadmaps and frameworks to doing well in business. And the key is actually starting to figure out marketing strategies that are authentic to you. I call it the marketing suite personas in my program, right? So if you don't like to do video, don't do it. If you like to do audio, do it. Now there's Facebook audio, right? But people are eventually going to want to see you. So it's good to practice speaking and doing video because you're going to have to do that anyway. But, if you prefer to write, then blog, right? Whatever marketing resonates with you, do you, be you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The important thing is that you're showing up, you're showing out, and you're inviting people and making offers and letting them know how you can help them. Right? And what the investment is for that, because we're not about doing stuff for free. Okay. So I have to get ready for another coaching call. I'm like, wait, what time is it? But I wanted to come and just give you all that information to do you, be you. And if for some reason you need permission, I'm giving you the permission right now. Do you, be you, because that really is what is going to attract your soulmate clients to you. So it's not just about the people like working with you, it's the people who you like working with and that will energize you on this journey, because that's going to help you show up every day and do the less tedious things that are part of business too, right? So do you, be you. So quick tips on marketing or video marketing in particular. Think of your soulmate client. Think about a real person that represents and only talk to them in all your marketing, right? So that it sounds personable and relatable to the person. The second thing is, one, be clear on who your client is, because some of you may have primary and secondary clients. The primary client is the person that's paying you. And the third thing is, do you, right? So if you have to have notes, if you like having your Word document open or a PowerPoint open, if you like writing down your notes ahead of time or on a pad, because it's going to help you remember the things you want to say, particularly when you're doing live marketing like on videos or audios or telesummits or webinars, it is okay. Whatever is going to help you show up the way you need to show up in the best, or the similar things that you do or did when you were an employee, you can do as an entrepreneur. Okay, so this is me giving you permission if you need it, but you don't. Give yourself permission to do you, be you, because that is your unique selling proposition. It's your worldview, it's your personality, it's the way that you synthesize information and deliver it, and the impact, right, and the results that you help get for your clients. That's what's going to attract the people to you who want to work with you and become your client, because they're going to like, know, and trust you. But if you, right, aren't showing up, then you're not going to really continue to do well and generate revenue, or you're going to burn yourself out, because once again, you're going to continuously have to bring this representative to the front. And it's tiring not being yourself. It's tiring being a mask. It's tiring being fake, right? It is actually quite exhausting. So don't do it. I'm just telling you, it's not going to work. So June said, thank you. You're so welcome. So if you're watching this later, have any questions or something resonate with you, let me know. Write it in the chat, right? Yes, girl, whatever it is. Because I want you to broadcast your brilliance. I want you to shine. Why? Because when you shine, you give others permission to do the same, right? And that is why your gift is not about you. So this is Quanisha Green signing off, your Black Woman CEO coach. And I'll see you all soon. Peace.